We're glad to have Father James, the pastor at St. Mary's Parish, with us today. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Nice to have you here. We chatted a minute ago that John and James were brothers, so that works out for
That's
us
right.
very well. Will you pronounce and tell us your last name?
Narithookil.
Spell it.
Narithookil.
And where were you born and raised?
I was born in Kerala, the southernmost state in India.
And raised there?
Raised also there.
And how did you find your way to the United States?
Well, it is a long story. I had my schooling in Kerala, in my home state, and at the age of 18, after 12th grade, I joined the seminary. Then the seminary training went on for 12 long years, and I was ordained a priest in 1972. Then after that, I went for my higher studies in Islamic studies, comparative religion, in Aligarh Muslim University in North India. That university was founded by Sir Syed Ahmad Khan during the time of the British rule. And that was for the uplifting of the Muslim population in India, which was supposed to be not up to the mark compared to the Hindu population in economics, social status, and things like that. So after that, I came for my higher studies to continue the studies in Islamics to McGill University, Montreal, Canada. In 76 to 81, I was studying at McGill in Montreal. Then after my studies, I went back and I was teaching at the seminary in Bangalore. We have a very, very large major seminary for philosophy and theology in Bangalore. So I was teaching there for several years till 2008. I was the rector of the same seminary from 2002 to 2008. Then my term was over. Then I was told to come to Sacramento because the priest who was the pastor there, Father Isaac, had a transfer to Rome. So I had to take his place. So I opted and accepted the invitation and landed here in Sacramento.
And how do you like Sacramento?
Oh, wonderful. It's a beautiful place, a peaceful area, and I like the landscapes. I like everything in here in Sacramento. Very mild weather, no extreme climate.
I like Sacramento myself.
Yeah.
Do you speak French?
A little bit, but now not, because that's the whole days while I was in Montreal, of course in Quebec, so naturally it is bilingual, English and French. But most of the time I was with the English-speaking community at McGill. So I didn't get much chance to pursue my studies in French. I knew a little bit.
Were you raised in a Christian home?
Yes, of course. It is a traditional Christian home. That goes back to the history of Christianity in India that started in 52 AD. One of the apostles, St. Thomas, landed in Kerala in South India in 52 AD, and then he accepted martyrdom in 72 AD in Mylapore, the neighboring state of Kerala, Tamil Nadu. So during those 20 years, he converted the high caste Hindus of the upper class. And he has, at that time, he converted nearly 12 famous families, and all the Christians or Catholics trace their origin to one of these families, the branches and sub-branches of it. And I belong to one of those. So my origin, if you trace the origin of my Christian faith, goes to 1st century AD, even before Europe was pagan.
Did you go to church on Sundays as
Yes.
a child?
Yeah, I do. I used to, because I used to go with my grandpa. He was my mentor. He was such a nice person, a very devout, pious, and God-loving. So he never misses, not only Sunday, weekdays, every day, daily mass. So I used to accompany him. And after going to the Mass daily in the morning, then you go to the school, the rest of the timetable follows.
You said you joined the ministry at 18, but did you decide before that you wanted to do that?
Yeah, even while I was a child, I had that great inclination to become a priest. The reason was there are a number of priests in our family. One of my uncle was a priest, and several cousins and several friends, and they used to visit our family very often. Then my grandfather had such a great devotion and love for the priests. So the way the priests were treated at home was a great incentive for me to become a priest, seeing from the very childhood. It grew, and my grandfather used to tell me, I used to sleep in his bedroom. So before going to sleep, he will ask me, James, did you say one Our Father for your priestly vocation? He will remind me. Then if I have not said, I will get up and say that prayer and go to bed. So this was a continuous process, and at the age of 8, that was a moment for decision.
And your parents were not surprised that you wanted to go into the seminary?
They were not surprised. My dad insisted that you go only after graduation in the college. That means 3 more years. Then I said, it is too late. At the age of 18, I am an adult. I know what it is. I can make a decision for myself. That's the way. Then he said, okay.
Were you a happy child?
Yes, of course. We were 11. I have 10 siblings, 5 brothers, 5 sisters. So naturally, we had a very good community life at home.
And what did you do as a child? How did you spend your time as a child besides school?
Yeah. First, going to church, daily mass. Second, go to school. As soon as you return from school, go to the farm. I liked farming, agriculture, and I was always friendly with the nature. So I used to enjoy that. And sometimes after the school, I go for games, soccer, volleyball. Yeah, these were the 2 games I was mostly interested in.
Did you have a real good friend as a boy?
Of course, I had one of my neighbors, my classmate. He was a very good friend, and he also became a priest later on.
And have you stayed in touch?
Yes, I do. I do.
I had a childhood friend that I adored, and we spent a lot of time with, and he died when we were in our early 20s.
Mm-hmm.
Got sick quite suddenly, and in a few weeks was dead. And I've missed him in my life growing up. We were really, really good friends as boys.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's talk about St. Mary's for a few minutes.
Yeah.
What are your routine duties there besides conducting Mass and those kinds of things?
Yeah. We have got so many ministries attached to the parish. So many are volunteering for that. I'll be speaking to them, I'll be talking to them, I'll be praying with them, and also I make a house visit once in a while of the parishioners. And sometimes when they come to discuss some of the problems they are facing, some conflicts, or in family life or in married life, I always welcome them. I help them as best I can to resolve the problem. So that is very good kind of apostolate I'm doing here.
Do you like visiting in the homes?
Which one?
Do you like to visit the homes?
Oh yeah, I do, because you know when you visit the homes, it becomes more cordial, and the people like it and they love it. A more intimate, cordial relationship can be established by the home visit.
Did the priest visit your home when you were a child?
Very much, very often.
Did you have him for dinner?
Oh yeah. As a matter of fact, one of the priests, he was teaching Sunday catechism near our house in a school. So every Sunday after the catechism, he had lunch with us every Sunday invariably.
Was he from India?
Yeah.
And what about, were there British priests or?
No more.
No.
No more. Because India got independence in 1947, August 15, the midnight.
What about St. Mary's School? What's going on there? That's an important part of the campus and layout.
Yeah, that's a wonderful question. I like it. St. Mary's School is supposed to be the best school in the Diocese of Sacramento for various reasons. The academic standard, the character formation, the relationship that exists between the teachers, the staff, the parents, and the students, and also with the pastor of the parish, and the kind of religious instructions training given there. I know pretty well the students in St. Mary's are really well established in the basic principles and sound principles of Catholic belief. And they do come for daily mass in 10, 2 grades each, Monday through Thursday. So all the students will be attending at least one mass during the weekdays. And I give you an instance. The accreditation group was making their survey and evaluation at the school. And on one occasion, while they were having a discussion in the Cabrini Center in the library, one of the students, a 2nd grade student, was just passing by the chapel. The door of the chapel of the school was open, and this student, looked into in the chapel, looked at the tabernacle, and said, "Good morning, Jesus." And they were highly impressed. So spontaneous. That child believed that Jesus is present there, and felt like telling Jesus, "You are there. I greet you." What a wonderful gesture. So that is significant. That symbolizes what a great training is given at St. Mary's. So I like it. Time to time I go and visit them in their classrooms, talk something about inspirational things. They like it and they love it.
I visited one of those classrooms and I was impressed with the computer setup and the desks and what's going on in a variety of things at one time, and it looks like they're getting a really good education.
Yeah, that's true.
One of our children, when they were little, said to me one night, "Can Jesus fly?" And I said, "He can." "Well, where does he fly?" I said, "Well, probably a variety of places. I'm not sure." "Well, does he fly all by himself?" And I said, "No, sometimes he flies with Heavenly Father." He said, "Okay," and then he went out to play and went on. That night when we were kneeling at his bed to pray, he was probably 4 or 5 years old, and he was blessing Grandpa and Grandma and Dad and Mom and thanking for everything. He paused for a minute and then he said, "And bless you and Jesus when you fly tonight that you won't crash." And we got a great tickle and charge out of all of that.
Yeah.
Now, have you had boys come to you and say, "I want to be a priest"?
There is one. One is very devout, and he's an altar server, and he has got a great desire. So at the point now he's almost decided to become a priest, but he's in the 5th grade only. So as he grow up, I don't know whether he'll have the same desire.
What do you tell him about being a priest?
He is watching everything, and sometimes he may ask some questions regarding how is the seminary studies, how is the formation, what all things do you have to study. Then I explain to him all what we have to, the kind of formation, the seminary formation. Since I was involved in the seminary formation for about more than 30 years, I was teaching them, I was giving them formation, so I could tell him very much about the details, and he liked it.
Is there a part of being priest that is just, some part or portion that's just extra exciting and thrilling and satisfying to you?
The first week is really tough because we are away from the home, from parents, and we are in a new atmosphere, environment, strange, new faces, new members, likes and dislikes, lot of adjustment required. But that problem is very well solved by the help of the director, the one who, the formator, will tell us, speak about the supernatural motivations. Now you are asked, don't think in the worldly way. Now you have to think everything supernaturally. This is God's providence. It is not you decided to be a seminarian. God called you. You just responded. So the initiative is from God. Now you have to surrender, submit totally to God's will. Once you surrender to God's will, you are prepared to do anything for that, any kind of adjustment. So this kind of training and advice has got tremendous impact on the mind of the youngsters. Then slowly we know each other, and coming together, lot of activities that help us to be very much vibrant. For example, indoor games, outdoor games, then sports, then the studies, then recreation time. You know, in the seminary, there are prescribed times when you have to observe silence. Nobody utter a word during those hours. So you are waiting for the time of recreation. The time of recreation comes, everybody comes and enjoys unto your heart's content. So the recreation, the variety of timetable and the studies, the games, the sports, and once in a while, several days a week, in the evening we will have outing. I mean, going about, seeing the surrounding areas, enjoy the beauty of nature and things like that. So this kind of timetable gives us a lot of enthusiasm and impetus. Go ahead. So you forget about the nostalgia of or the homesickness. Nothing is there. So it goes like that.
Now, in that group of 25 or 30 young men who are first coming in, do you find eventually you've sort of got a special friend in that group that you like to be with and spend time with?
Yeah, that's a very curious thing. You know, we will...
Friendship is very important.
Yeah, friendship is very, very important, and they foster that, the superiors, but with a caution. So there is a qualified kind of friendship which is called a particular friendship. Friendship is good. It has got a negative tone. Particular friendship means you want to possess somebody as your own, exclusive, and you are not free with others like that. That can become dangerous eventually. That we qualify that with the word particular friendship. In the seminary circle, if you say particular friendship means it is not the positive, it is something negative. That means you are going to possess somebody. So the real friendship has no possession, and you are not jealous when that friend has got so many other friends. You are not jealous. If you have the particular friendship, you want to possess somebody as your own. If that person gets new friends, you are not very happy. You are very uncomfortable. That shows it is not genuine friendship. So genuine friendship is always fostered, and I did have, and over and above, you have to deal with all of them equally, no discrimination. You are not supposed to exclude anybody in the group. You have to respect everyone. So that's the kind of training given, and insist on that in the beginning.
Have you ever been with the Pope?
Actually, I have been to Rome a number of occasions, but unfortunately, I've never got a chance to have an audience with the Pope.
The popes in my lifetime have been important and goodly men and great world leaders, and I've always admired the popes.
Yeah.
I was in the Falkland Islands a few weeks ago and visited a Catholic church there. And they have a nice big color photo of Pope Benedict out in the foyer. And that was very, very nice. What do you do with your spare time?
Well,
do you have spare time?
Spare time, yeah, well, all the time is used the best way possible. And sometimes I just listen to music when I get time, spare time like that, and watch news, of course. And I don't spend much time in watching movies. maybe now we have become mature enough. In the olden times, it was a great enthusiasm and entertainment, but it's no more so. Maybe some important movies which has got some documentary value and things like that, I may. Otherwise not.
What do you do for recreation?
Recreation, meeting with people is a good recreation. There are people of different walks of life, and sometimes a good conversation with them, that itself is recreation. Some are very humorous, so spending time with them is a good recreation. And once in a while I go and visit the Indian families. There are a number of Indian families, Christian families. So once in a while they call me for their prayer meetings, go there. They will have, after that they will have a dinner, and sometimes we'll have a recreation like that.
Have you been treated well in Sacramento?
Very well. I have no complaint whatsoever. My parishioners give me very good love, concern and care. I love them.
Do you still have brothers and sisters who are living?
Yeah, all of them are living.
And they are where?
One is in Austria with the family. That's my sister. Her husband is a doctor there. He has got specialized both allopathy and Ayurveda, Indian medicine. So he's living with his family there in Austria. A couple of years back, he came here and he gave a talk about the health, what all things one has to be careful in the day-to-day life in eating and exercise and all kinds of habits to our audience here in St. Mary's. Because in St. Mary's we have got a center which is called CICIS. That means Chavara International Center for Indian and Interreligious Studies. So we do have occasional talks about different religions, and also we have got an interreligious Christmas celebration every year in which leaders of different religions will be giving Christmas message from the background of their belief and their religion. So yeah, that is one of our my sisters in Austria. Another one was in Eritrea, a nun. One of my sisters is a nun. She was in Eritrea in Africa, near Ethiopia. But lately she has come back to India, and now she is working in one of the mission stations in North India in the state of Maharashtra. All other my brothers and sisters are settled in Kerala and Karnataka.
Are you able to email or?
Oh yeah, we email, we speak through telephone, and every year I go for vacation. And when I go for vacation, the family from Austria and all other brothers and sisters will come together. We will have a family get together when I reach there. They organize it in such a way that when I am present there, they want to be there.
Well, how fun. That sounds like a great time.
Yeah.
What do you see in the future? What's happening in the next 10 years in your life?
Well, as long as I have the same kind of health which I having today, I continue working in the same line as far as I am allowed or needed or asked.
Will you retire and stay in California?
No, because since I belong to a religious congregation, Carmelites of Mary Immaculate, we have to, when we retire, we have to go to our own houses or monasteries. We have got so many monasteries all over the world, mostly in India. So I belong to one of the provinces in India. So when I retire, I have to go and stay in our community. So old priests, elderly priests, retired priests are well taken care of the community, because I don't belong to my family anymore. I belong to our religious order, Carmelites. So the other, just you go for a visit at home, but this is your real home. You are well taken care of. I don't have to worry about anything.
Well, and we all are brothers and sisters all together. That's a nice thing.
Yeah.
We talked earlier about you like to read. Do you do some writing?
Well, I used to write some articles, mostly about interreligious, about the relationship between Islam and Christianity. And I was teaching this particular subject in the seminary for 30 years, Islam. Sometimes people ask, how come a Catholic priest is teaching Islam in the seminary? Well, Islam is the second largest religion in the world. A priest, a Catholic priest should know, besides Christianity, the second largest religion, Islam, what are the tenets, the difference, the similarities between Islam and Christianity. So I specialized this subject in order to teach at the seminary, and in India I was teaching in several seminaries because very few people, very few Catholic priests specialized Islam.
Now, we have a fine Muslim community here in Sacramento.
Yeah.
Do you interface with them at all?
Yeah, I do sometimes visit them for their meetings. Sometimes they come to our place, so I know some of them. Yeah.
That's a good, important part of our community,
Yeah, yeah.
and we're happy to have them here. If you could wave a magic wand in the world and change something, what would that be?
Well, bring people back to God, no matter which religion you belong to. The faith in God is the only way that can give hope and expectation and meaning to life, especially people who are groping in the darkness, not knowing what to do, what is the purpose of life, what is in future. For such people, the only way to have a real joy and happiness and meaning for life is to be a member of any religion.
Well, we wish you well and hope you'll have a longer stay here in Sacramento.
Inshallah.
And good luck at St. Mary's. They're doing good things there.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for joining us. Nice to have you.
I really enjoyed talking to you, John.
Thank
you. It was
you.
a real
We'll remember.
experience.
We'll remember John and James as brothers. I won't forget that.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Take care of yourself.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.